Alright guys, good morning. I am on a different body of water that I normally fish on. I'm down on beautiful Smith Lake, and just thought I'd come and explore a little today. No tournaments, no pressure, just looking and fishing and hoping to put a fish in the boat and maybe catch one of Smith Lake's big old fat spotted bass. It's one of my favorite fish to catch. So there's my first cast. Pushing to get after it, and hopefully we're gonna put one in the boat today. I hate to drive all the way down here and not catch a fish, so fingers crossed. Bait's going down. Alright guys, we have doodled us up a Smith Lake spotted bass. Actually, largemouth. Anyway, we caught a fish. Check him out. That's awesome. I got 9,000 bass boats running all over me right now, making waves, making things difficult. That's alright. They can run back and forth, and I'm gonna pick apart my little areas that I find, and I'll hold them up when they go by. I think that is so cool. That fish, I thought I felt the tick when he bit, and but as soon as I pulled and felt a little weight, buddy, he took off like a rocket. These spotted bass, or all these bass down here seem like they've got an attitude. It don't matter if I catch a largemouth or a spot or stripe, for sure. Stripe will tow me around. And let's go see if we can't put another in the boat. There's one. No skunk. in the boat, Junior. Alright guys, number 2 on this beautiful 1st of February. This one came on a black and blue jig out of a lay down. Ain't that pretty? That sure is fun out here in the winter. That bass, even though the air temp's almost 70 today, that bass is cold. This water's cold. Let's get her back. Black and blue jig. That's actually a old schooling today, guys. This is actually a bitsy bug. If y'all know what a bitsy bug is. Pretty good deal. Let's ease on around some more lay down, see if we can find another. Alright, my friends, we got number 3 in the boat. How about that? Ain't that special? Come out here on a absolutely beautiful day. And bites have been far and few between, man. I mean, it's been a long day getting bites. Let me show you what I doodled him up on. I've been throwing hand poured worm all day and getting some bites, but I broke off a couple of times. And the farther back up some of these little creeks that I've gone, it's got dirtier and dirtier. And so I went with, I think you can see that, I went with a cream 4-inch scoundrel in the red. And right where I'm sitting now, the water's not quite as dirty as where I have been, but man, I got in some water after this rain that the visibility was probably a foot or less, and just quit getting bites. I did get one on That last one came on a black and blue jig, but that water was really dirty up in there, so I decided to come back out of the creek and get back into a little bit cleaner. I'm gonna ease back over by this dock and see if maybe that fella had a friend. But it's been a slow day, really slow day. I've covered a lot of ground. I've looked at a lot of places that I want to fish this spring when the water's up. And that's what you do in the winter. You ride around, and when the water's low, you can see stuff that you can't see normally. And let's get that back out there. The wind quit long enough for me to make a cast around this boat dock or boathouse and sit here just long enough to get bit without dropping my anchor. So I don't know if he might have a friend, or if that was a fluke and there was just one passing through and I attracted him. But either way, I'll take it. It's been a long, slow day, and he whacked it pretty good. I knew I had a bite. The wind is not going to let me hang out here unless I put my anchor out, I'm afraid. But I actually passed by. When I passed by this dock, it looked like there was some fish stacked up around some structure on the bottom. So I came back to it and threw back at it. And I'm slowly beginning to learn to trust my electronics. Not always been easy for me to do. I'm still a basic old school type fisherman. But when the box says there's a fish down there, usually there's a fish down there. Alright guys, I couldn't sit on my other little spot by the dock, so I changed places. I'm sitting on a rocky outcropping here. It's not super deep, probably showing 16 feet deep where I'm sitting. Anyway, this day is turning out to be not so bad. The bites have been scattered pretty, far apart, but getting bites while you're out fishing, man, that's always a good thing. Putting a few in the boat, that's an even better thing. I did break off on a good one so far today on the hook set, which I generally always blame that on myself for not checking my line. Matter of fact, I should have retied everything before I hit the water this morning, but I didn't. So that cost me a fish. So as of now, I'm still fishing for a while longer, but got 3 in the boat. Now this is daylight and dark from what I did yesterday. Yesterday I had the great idea that I would drive from Hanceville to Decatur and go put in on Tennessee River and fish behind the boat harbor. A lot of you guys know where that is. Fish the flats and the ditches in the flats. Well, as soon as I rolled across the bridge when the boat harbor came into sight, I realized there wasn't any water for me to fish where I was going. So I pondered that whole idea of getting out on the river in the wind and decided I didn't want to do that. So I loaded up, headed all the way back to Coleman. Stopped by Flint Creek on the way in, and it looked like a cardboard box and just as muddy as it could be. So there was 2 options shot down. I roll on in. I said, well, I'm going to do something completely different. I'm going to go to Lake George. It's a little small lake in Coleman, for those of you that aren't familiar with it. A little small impoundment. And the wind was coming straight out of the north so hard that it was even going to be hard to launch there. So I finally made my way back to my 4th option. By this time I done wasted half the morning, it felt like, and I rolled up over Duck River Reservoir about 12:30 or 1 and spent about 3 hours to not catch a single fish. How many of you guys have had days like that where absolutely nothing planned that you planned came about? I don't have a day that just completely self-destructs that often, but that was yesterday. I said I'm going I'm going to do something completely different again. So true to my word, I loaded up and came down here to Smith Lake this morning, and wow, what a beautiful day. The wind has blown some, but the day, you could not ask for a better day. I've actually got too many clothes on. I just didn't want to go take clothes off. It is pushing 70 degrees, I'm sure, because I've been hot a couple of times. And wow, this is a beautiful day here in northern Alabama to be, I think, February the 2nd, something like that. Could be wrong on that. Might be the 3rd. One of those days. It's early February, and it is gorgeous out here. I don't know if I'll put another fish in the boat, but it has been a blast. I have looked at a lot of cool stuff, a lot of stuff that I've got in my memory now to come back and visit this spring when these fish start pulling up to the bank and getting ready to spawn. A lot of stuff I've never seen I got to look at today, so that was a win-win. So much better than yesterday, a lot less frustrating. Got to put my hands on some bass, and hopefully we'll get another one. If not, I'm going to end it here. If I get another one, you'll see it. No matter what happens, you guys stay safe out on the water, and I'll catch you next week. I'm out of here.